Greetings. In case you haven't noticed, this is not the home shopping channel, but this is Poet the Poet, and I'm Robert Dunn, and I'm still hosting, and we're very excited to be in the back fence, courtesy of Bridget Murnahan. Yes, the back fence has a long and colorful history in the arts, and it's where the peanut shells end up on the floor, and sometimes so do the poets. In any event, they'll get me for that. In any event, we have two very entertaining young ladies to present to you today. And not only that, it's not the dating game either, but just sit back and enjoy the poetry. We have Linda Lerner over here, and we have Jae-yoon Park over there. And I can promise you a show to remember, I think. And we'll start with Linda Lerner, who has a couple of books out. Let's see, she's holding... Yeah,
this is the recent one?
New and Selected Poems.
Just came out in February, 98, Yale Font Shop Press.
Okay, so they're new now. And then next year you have to change the title.
Right.
Okay. She's Back.
That was published 96 and by the same press, and some selections from that are in this book as well.
And sure enough, she's back. Well, it's nice to have truth in advertising and poetry every once in a while. No One's People.
Okay, that was published by New Spirit Press somewhere in 93, was it?
Well, 92 you
92,
said.
92, okay.
93 is close enough, don't worry about that. And City Girl.
And City Girl was published in 1990 by Virgin Press.
Oh, so this eventually makes a four-volume trilogy.
Well, it's a fifth, but I don't mention it because it's what I consider juvenilia.
The City Girl is No One's People, but she's back anyway. With new and selected poems. Yeah, that works out very nicely,
okay.
I think. You do Poets on the Line, an online-only anthology of poetry. How did that come about?
Okay, that's sort of interesting. My partner at the time, Andrew Getler, came up with the idea in 95. He thought that the internet would be really big. However, neither one of us knew how to use a computer. We didn't own a computer. We didn't have money to buy a computer. But I agreed with him, and we got a friend to type up everything, and someone else put it on the line, and that's basically how it started. And what he assumed did happen, that everyone is on the internet now. Everyone has email, and it's the only online anthology, the first one. And since then, we've been putting out 2 a year. The recent one is the Namvet Poets, and that has done very well. That has 23 poets. It's about 83 pages if you count pages, and I got a Ludwig Vogelstein grant for it and a Puffin Foundation grant. And it will be reviewed by Thomas Catterson in the next issue of Home Planet News and some other places.
Yeah, he'll like hearing that. He's sitting right behind the camera.
Okay.
In fact, wave to him. Hey, Tom. There we go. Now, as I understand it, a website or an online anthology, the audience is measured by hits.
Right.
Rather than actual people. It's sort of like the points in a Nielsen rating. But how many hits would you say the anthology
That's something
gets?
I don't know, except I've been getting a lot of letters, a lot of email notes. There's a way of gauging it, and I have to find out. We've been getting a lot of responses from it. Andrew Getler is a NAMVET, so through contacts of his, I was able to get some of the best writers in the country, like Bill Earhart, Bill Shields, Steve Mason, to contribute.
All right, and I guess Jae-yoon hasn't hit the computer yet, or have you?
No.
Okay, well, we should do a poem, since it is Poet the Poet.
Okay,
Linda,
sorry.
Linda, take it away. No, don't be sorry.
Okay.
We all need a little liquid once in a while.
I'd like to start with a poem called Men Call Jack. The troubadour street poet Jack Micheline died February 27th, and I had the good fortune to spend a day with him in San Francisco 2 years ago. So this is called Men Call Jack. It's for Jack Micheline, poet on the front lines, which is how he defines himself. And in the letter he wrote to me at the time, he said, the eye is connected to the heart. He's also a painter as well as a poet. Across San Francisco, America, single-room occupancy lives, refusing to learn the Lord is my shepherd, unable, escapees from the Bronx without teeth, failing eyesight, earth-crusted nails soap can't remove, proud of it. Dangerous men breathing poems. Isn't just words, eyes talk. Way you move your hand, turn your head, gives a poet away. Men call Jack nurturing more than flesh and bone of what matters. Child eyes pushing 70 years, scrawled on brown bags, forgotten yellowing pages, stuffed boxes, scaling, peeling walls to some heaven earth can't remove. Outlaws, madmen, fighting what straitjackets imagination, refusing to be herded to green pastures, return its soul to America, and damned for it. Men called Jack, colorists, painting red and purple and green murals on dullness, scaring the shit out of Lord is my shepherd, America.
Men called Jack, huh?
Because at the time in San Francisco, I met another very good poet called Jack Hirschman, who also lives in a single-room occupancy hotel. And it's really sad what happens to a lot of artists in America.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there are a lot of men named Jack on the various circuits in this country. It seems like every Tom, Dick, and Harry is named Jack.
That's right.
It's kind of hard to get away from it. I can't think of any offhand, but give me an hour or two and we'll come up with some. What else have you got in there?
Okay, I'd like to read. What do I want to read? Okay, there's another poem.
It's in there somewhere.
Well, this hot June Washington Square night, a lot of poems I write are centered in the city, aside from various travels.
Yes, June was very hot when I took her to Washington Square.
Oh, yes, this is hot June Washington Square night, still protesting through Washington Square Park. New generation eyes strip anyone, me, for month's rent, food. Nobody protesting, shooting among themselves in search of the enemy. Familiar guitars, aroma of grass bring me back. My outrage, a generation amplified. I'm sorry. Reported atrocities, oppression I witnessed. Mind was experience. Nothing more real than its certitudes. Dangerous place for this stroller. Walk past expatriate Americans, speeding youth around same fountain where I sat, outfitted for love and peace, with a boy stringing a hot night against war, injustice. Boy like you might have been had you allowed it. Sent to Nam to kill, saw what you could do, hated it, but maybe learned too well. Now live with a loaded bottle in your mouth. This time I witness killing firsthand with my nerves, skin to bone, up close, slow, all my senses, like one lover taking another sometimes. That slow. Oblivion. Mosquito-biting night like this brings me back, quieter, more vehement, protesting still.
And on that night I took June through the park. Jae-yoon was a couple of yards in back of us, getting it all down on canvas. And I really had to pay her off to sequester that. Now I'd like to switch gears and get a taste of the anthology.
Okay.
Or the online project,
anthology.
Poets on the Line.
Okay, there was, I received some wonderful, wonderful work. Some of the best writing I've ever gotten for the anthology has come for this one issue. However, only one poem from a woman, and her name is Pauline Hebert, a marvelous poet. I'd like to read one that she wrote called Luck. The Red Cross wasn't bulletproof, the hospital fair game. Incoming rounds knew no mercy. If you had a stethoscope in your ears when the first mortar landed, you, your patients, could wind up dead, all of them your responsibility to save, to keep safe. There was never time to save them all. There was never time to take cover. There was never time to listen. There was never silence. Above the sounds of Choo-Chee and Quonset huts, we perch, stationary, sitting ducks, without sandbags, bunkers, the only thing between us and forever, luck. Geneva Conventions be damned.
What was Chu Chi? Was that a place?
There was a place in Vietnam, yeah. And she's been suffering from post-war syndrome, post-traumatic stress syndrome ever since.
So she had served over there. She was in a hospital.
No, she was in a hospital, and she helicoptered down and lifted men up and was in the range of fire just like all the men.
I've always found it very worthwhile to hear poetry from people who had actually served in Vietnam, as opposed to just those who saw it in the news.
The tone is entirely different. People who have never been there and write about it there's just not the same involvement, the same investment. It's almost like an exercise.
Can you give us another one?
Yeah, one by Bill Shields. This is called Abattoir. I hadn't been home from the Nam for 23 minutes before a kid my own age stuck his middle finger in my face and called me asshole. My own sister didn't speak to me for 5 years, and my mother kept a full tank of gas in her Plymouth for a one-way ride to the VA hospital in Pittsburgh. I let the wall lick my guts quietly and without an audience. But when my daughter died from my exposure to Agent Orange, I bought a typewriter and pounded pure fire out of its keys till it broke, and I bought another one. I thought if I shared blood with a reader, my goddamn hells would be easier to walk through. But they weren't.
These were important poems for us to bring to you today. I do want to get one more of yours in.
Okay.
To round out the set.
It'll take a minute to find, not that long though.
It must be in there somewhere.
78, I'm sorry. And the print is kind of small, so I'm stumbling over my words.
Okay.
On hearing 3 lady poets teething on Poetry Society of America Radcliffe Bunting Prizes, Sunday afternoon at Jane's Cafe, passion monotoned, a universal politically correct etiquette for ladies, meticulously lawns unruly emotion, drug overdose, suicide, 1990s graffiti sound on the walls of whatever garden they are strolling on. Long flowered dresses, long, very long hair, programmed raised eyebrow when one reaches for high-fat sugar. Ladies with 3 names, turn of the century, literary, Vogue fashions, current. On hearing 3 lady poets curtsy behind language when I feel evicted from practically everything but my apartment, and that could come. I yearn for a Bukowski curse, beer can flung across the room, knockdown fight till I want to puke from all the smoke and sweat. Yearn to hear Savitt lust to prove she's alive, her mistakes played into the language that turn the mind upside down, heart somersaulting outrageously. Hearing 3 lady poets read in Jane's Cafe this hot June Sunday kicks me out into crowds, noise, dirty air, to breathe, to breathe.
Well, we're going to have to take a breath. Linda Lerner, thank you for coming on.
Thank you
We'll be
for
back
asking
in a
me.
moment with Jae-Yoon Park. Don't go away.